So aren't you just a coffee salesman?
Yes, I am. Yeah. No, I am. Weird thing about business is that people sell the wrong thing because they are trying to sell a product or a service or a thing that actually, normally at the point of sale, they've got no idea if the person wants it, if they're interested in it, and you end up, and again, you see this a lot in networking, people are there just selling their stuff without any, and everyone hates that guy, hey, I do this. Whereas what I try and do is I just sell a meeting. That's the only thing I'm trying to do. And the reason I sell a meeting is because I know that every 10 meetings I get to, 7 and a bit turn into cash. So actually I'm not kind of worrying, I've got to earn more money, because I can't just earn more money. I can only do the activities for it, and the activity is kind of taking someone for coffee. And whenever I'm out, whenever I'm doing anything, all I'm trying to do is get sat down with someone. And actually, it's just a very kind of simple thing. Well, let's go and grab a coffee. And again, that is, from my point of view, as a networking room, in a networking room, all I want to do is say something intelligent enough to someone that they think he's not a complete idiot. And I say, well, look, let's go and grab a coffee. And it's the same, it's the same if I'm doing some kind of, let's just call it cold marketing, some direct mail. We'll do a direct mail or an email or a little video, that sort of thing. And in that process, at some point, I'm going to invite them to have a coffee. Whether that's a direct, hey, Paul, that's really interested, we should have a chat, let's go and grab a coffee. Or, and again, I don't know if this is right or wrong or spurious or whatever, but, I have organised meetings in the vicinity of that person, so I can then pick them up and just kind of say, hey, Paul, I know we've been banging, some emails around. I'm actually not too far away from you the next week. Is it worth us, popping in, putting a face to a name sort of thing? Everything I'm doing, I just want to sell the coffee, down to the fact that you look at some of our testimonials, it's saying, it's not about, hey, Paul's really useful, he did this and this, that's helpful, but that's not what I'm trying to sell. I want my testimonials, I want everything to kind of say, so when people look, actually, I'm really pleased I sat down with Paul because blah, 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 blah.
That's it. I think it kind of stems back to the very first marketing lesson that my very first boss said, that people buy people.
Yep, as ever.
Right? People buy people. They always have, they always will. Like all the technology we have on these things just enables people to communicate with people easier. They give you more opportunities to communicate, to go and get a coffee with chappers.
Yeah. The thing is, once I'm in that room, I've got a captive audience. Again, this is, you need to be very sort of undigitalised digital marketing, is that in that room, it's just me and them talking, and I back myself to get the business there. And again, they're not 2 or 3 clicks away from someone else. I've got them there. We can have a proper conversation, which is all marketing. Everything is about engaging in a absolutely proper conversation, and that's difficult to do online when they've got everything else going on. And I think it's a very low impact thing. It's a very non-aggressive thing. It is literally just going for coffee, and everyone knows what's involved in it. We're all smart business owners. You know what you're doing there, but everyone else, it seems like they're trying to kind of close the deal before they've got any kind of relationship, and I think that's kind of, it's expensive, frustrating, and I don't think it's particularly sustainable.
No, that's it. I think Patricia Phipp summed it up well. She says, you don't close a sale, you open a relationship, and it's that sort of thing. You don't want to be a transactional thing. You don't want to sell a widget because they really need a widget at that time, although that's a good situation. But if they buy into you, the widget salesman, they buy all your widgets.
Yeah, and that's it, and again, I think you said in another video, no one unsubscribes from relationships. So actually, I went for a meeting with someone a couple of days ago, and it's someone I met like 3 years ago, and we went for coffee with, and you're just in that space now. And from there, now that relationship is there, you can almost go back digital if you need to, and just nudge them along online, and nudge them along, and nudge them along, nudge them along. But I think there is a real value to actually just getting in front of someone and kind of shaking their hand. And I think we've sort of forgotten it. We've sort of forgotten the power of just going to speak to people, but it needs to be done in the right way, and that's why I sell coffee. I'm not saying to them, well, why don't we get together and have a conversation about marketing? It's let's just go for a chat. Let's just go and have a conversation about stuff. It's the same way that I don't ask for referrals. I get people to introduce me, because referrals are almost inherent that some business needs to be done, whereas an introduction, it is, well, look, you know what I do, who do you know that like that? Well, look, can you just introduce me? And it's a much more, I don't mean low impact, it's I don't know, the word will come to
warmer,
me.
Isn't it?
Yeah, it's non-aggressive, it's not in their face, and people like to be introduced to people because it's just a good thing to do, and but you need to make everything around having that coffee. You're not trying to kind of kibosh them and think, well, I've got the coffee, let's go and sell some stuff. We're just trying to get to the point that I know if I get in a room with X amount of people, Y are going to buy. If I need to get to 10 times why, well, I've got to have 10 times. So if it's 10 coffees of 5 clients, and I need 50 clients, I don't know the maths. I need 100. I can't remember whatever I said, but make it actually work into actual math. You say stuff now, Tim.
I say stuff now. Well, I think that kind of works exactly right. If you sell something that's multifaceted or have different sort of things, right? You can, if you lead with, I mean, we've said it before. If you lead with a product or a service, right? It's a simple yes or no. They either want it or they don't. At that time, you pitch it. If you lead with a coffee, then you're selling that conversation. You're having that conversation. You understand. You get empathy. You get research. There's a whole scope of the design of a strategy and a plan that involves a thing called empathy, which fundamentally, if you narrow it down, is just listening to somebody. And when can you listen to somebody? You can do it digitally, yes, but in person, in a conversation, get them to talk, listen to somebody, empathise with them, be useful, have a conversation, tell a story, that sort of thing. I mean, it's the essence of everything, that sort of thing. And I think if you do it in real life, there's just something so different about in real life.
Yeah, and I think going back a step, it's a business process as well. Again, lots of people get lots of business from networking, great, but in that room you can't be there to sell because it's not sustainable. Because you're in a noisy place with noisy people. Excuse me, everyone's trying to do their selling bit. You want to get in, get out as quick as possible, and you can't do that on a product sale. But if you just say, well, that's really interesting, we should grab a coffee at some point. Boom, deal done. Move on, go to the next kind of thing. And it is just, it's really hard to sell to people kind of on the first date kind of thing. And it is, and it's a crazy way of doing it, because if they say no, you've got nowhere to go. Whereas, and there are lots of people in that first dating arena who are there just to sell, and they lose out on so many because it just isn't going to happen. And this is why, if you're just selling the next step, it's there. And typically, if I'm in a networking room, the only thing I want to do is make them interested enough for me to either get the coffee there and then, if that's, we should grab a coffee, great. But more likely than not, is, well, I'll tell you what, I've got some useful stuff. Let me fire it to you. So I can send them something the next day, and all I want was to be interested enough for them to open that email. And once they've opened that email, I can then go back and then it's really easy then to pick up the phone and get a coffee, or drop an email and get a coffee. But there's no selling. This is just two people having a conversation, get to a point, well, let's go and it's there. And it is I think people think it's a time-consuming thing. I think they think, well, I can't do it because it's just an effort and it takes a lot longer. Well, I don't think it does take a lot longer, but I think it is more likely to work than just blasting away at someone, on an email list.
That's it. And you don't have to do it with everyone. Like if you remember what Seth Godin said about the first 10, I think we've already mentioned as well. If we haven't, check it out. First 10. Like the first 10 people you should tell about are the people who are going to love it. Your ideal clients, right? If you are short on time and you're worried and you change to your desk, only go for coffees or only really target people, the most likely people, the people you really want to do business with, the ones you can really help, and start there. Yeah. You don't have to be out for 4 days a day, 4 hours a day, spending 30 quid in Starbucks and getting, skittish from coffee every week. It's a bit funny. Just target it. Like any good marketing, know who you're marketing at. And go and target.
And it's an interesting. This is where I think, I get it wrong sometimes, in the fact that if I look at my accounts, kind of one of my biggest single spend is coffee. I buy an enormous amount, tea and coffee and that sort of thing. And I think there are times when I probably shouldn't have gone. I go because I enjoy it and I really, really enjoy it and I get a lot out of meeting people. But actually, most of the time there is something there. There is a reason behind it. Sometimes it's a sale, sometimes it's a relationship, sometimes it's a contact, sometimes it's just that I've enjoyed spending the time and I've learnt a few things. And if I just did one thing, I would just meet people. I think I would, I'd happily bin my social, I'd happily bin any marketing, email stuff, I'd bin all that off and I'd just go meet people. But obviously, as ever with these kind of things, it works best as an integrated thing. But I guess the point that we're getting to here is, sell the relationship, sell that face to face, even if it's face to face on the phone, which you can't have ear to ear. Skype, sell the conversation, don't sell the product. I think that's what we're trying to get to here.
That's exactly it. Don't forget that digital communications isn't it.
Yeah.
Do you know what? They have a place. The in real life conversation is the top of that chain.
Yeah. And it's baby steps. And again, a little weird one for you. If you haven't watched it, go and hunt out Derren Brown's The Jump. And it's this crazy, crazy thing where they get someone effectively to commit murder, kind of, live, as it were. And it's fascinating. And it is why it's so important for us as business owners is that it's all about little steps, little steps, little steps, little steps, little steps. And actually, the step between meeting and coffee is way easier to do than meeting to sale. Because, meeting to sale is there, meeting to coffee is here. And at that point, the gap from coffee to sale has got a bit smaller. And that's where, most people are there just going to try, they're in the networking to sell. No, it doesn't work. It used to. It doesn't anymore. There's too many people. There's too much noise. People are too wise to it. So actually, if you are just there and just baby stepping it along, little bit, whilst this step is small, actually your jump towards the actual money part is much better. And actually, it means you've got a sustainable ratio. It means that money part is likely to be bigger and more ongoing because you've actually built a relationship rather than just gone and smash and grab.